The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Muy buenas, amigos. Gracias por estar aquí en un webinar más de Polaris Controls. Bienvenidos. Esta vez quiero enseñarles, vamos a ver si puedo poner mi pantalla acá. Un segundo. There you go. Antes de empezar, quiero mostrarles los webinars que vamos a tener esta semana. Vamos a tener hoy Magnitude Lighting. Tenemos otro webinar mañana de Rosound y un webinar más el jueves de Digital Projection Internacional. Así que va a ser una semana bien interesante de mucha información. Está conmigo Rubén Santamaría de Polaris Control. ¿Cómo estás, Rubén? Vamos a esperar un segundo.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Buenos días a todos.
Esperamos un poco, Rubén, que se una más gente y arrancamos.
Perfecto, muy bien.
¿Cómo están, amigos? Gracias por estar con nosotros hoy en este webinar. Tenemos varios webinars esta semana y la semana entrante y la otra semana y la semana después. Recuerden, de 3 a 4 webinars a la semana es lo que estamos tratando de hacer. El de hoy promete ser uno muy interesante acerca de drivers de todo tipo, para todo tipo de luminarias, cinta LED, etcétera. Así que esperemos sea productivo para todos ustedes. Nuevamente estamos haciendo esto para ayudarlos a ampliar su conocimiento técnico de diferentes tecnologías, diferentes marcas y nada, cuenten con nosotros para estos días. Siempre va a haber algo que hacer. Recuerden que tenemos un podcast, ya está disponible en iTunes, está en Spotify. Tenemos el canal de YouTube, tenemos más de 50 webinars grabados de diferentes tipos de temas para ustedes. Ahí está en pantalla. Tenemos temas desde Lutron hasta Savant, hasta Sonance, iPort. Vamos a hacer uno de Digital Projection esta semana. Nada, todo está ahí. Y siempre síganos en Instagram. Estaremos poniendo varios video shorts en los próximos días de diferentes tópicos. Así que nuevamente gracias por estar con nosotros. Yo creo que si quieren comenzar, Rubén, bienvenido.
¿Qué tal? Gracias por acompañarnos en estos tiempos nuevos que tenemos todos en línea. Hoy les vamos a presentar, como dijo Ariel, Magnitude, que son drivers. Es una marca muy robusta. Para México vamos a tener NOM. Ya está adelantado. Ahorita Liz yo creo que nos puede dar un adelanto sobre cómo va el NOM en México. Y Ryan nos va a hacer la presentación. Cualquier duda que tengan, por favor, pregúntenme a mí o a Liz, que también habla español. Y comenzamos. Ryan, please.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Polaris, as well, for setting this up. Well, let me show my screen. Today, we're going to learn a little bit about Magnitude Lighting, specifically some of the E-Series, but we're also getting involved in some of our other product line. You know, if I could say, if you have any questions throughout the presentations, if you can write them down, save them to the end. I could also, if it's in English, I'll be able to respond. We also have Liz, as well as Polaris panelists that can also translate to Spanish for your language. But I'm going to speak about the magnitude, go through this presentation for you. Hold on, that's, oh, here we go. So driver, some of this kind of outline of some of the things I'll be going through that you'll learn about, kind of bullet points. We can also, if you have interest in some of the topics here, we can also go further in details after this presentation. Just reach out to Polaris and we can set up a time to discuss further. But we're going to learn a little bit about input voltage, output voltage, some other driver technical words, the dimming, and then the product overview for Magnitude Lighting. This is our sales team. I'm on the left-hand side, and Jim is in behind. So I'm on the East Coast and also international. And then Jim is our West Coast salesman. The person in the middle is Dana. She's our CRO. She's the head of marketing and sales. And then to the right is our inside sales support team. Liz is all the way to the right. So she handles all of Latin, Southern America, South America, and the Caribbean. So she would be your main contact for any sales support, literature, pricing, quoting. She would be your main contact. So here's a list of all our team directories. You know, we are a somewhat small company based in California. We're very open, very accessible. So here's all our contact information from inside sales, the outside team. If you're having technical questions, Matthew Bonner is on staff to answer the call. So we are, again, smaller, so we're not a big conglomerate where you're able to access us. And that's something that we really strive to, customer service-wise, to be there for the customer. We have emails if you need to send in orders or any questions to our customer service. A little background on Magnitude. We're a 10-plus-year-old company. Currently, we are based in Tustin, California. We assemble our product in our warehouse in Tustin. We also have 3 other warehouses in California, and we also warehouse in our Northeast location in New Jersey for more of the Northeast territory. We have currently 3 engineers on staff. We actually are hiring by the next few months another 3. It's because we are growing and we want to stay up on the new technologies. So we feel expanding our engineering division will help us to keep up with the times, to help support our customers on the needs of our customers. Our products are, you know, over the 10 years, we're in over 100,000 different products, working with a lot of different LEDs. So now going into a little technical input voltage. It's the basic is with this would be the main power that's coming from the power lines. That's going into our driver or our appliance. That is the input voltage. The typical terminology you would see on our drivers would be a 120, a 120, 277, which is universal, which would be mainly in commercial or residential. And then outside of our North America, you might see 347. So that is all the voltage that's going into the driver, which would be mainly named as the primary side. The output voltage, the VDC, is the current on the other side of the driver that you would see. So normally the numbers you would see were 12 volt, 24 volt, or 48 volt, or even more popular now, it's becoming as 36 volt. So as the input voltage goes in, the current goes in through the driver. On the other side of the driver, which is the secondary side, you will have your output voltage. So that is a terminology you might come across with in the driver world. There's two different constants here. There's a constant voltage, which is going to be a product that's the voltage itself is going to stay consistent, standard throughout, which fluctuation with the current. And a driver that's constant current would be the current itself will stay constant, but the voltage itself would vary as well. So there's a couple terminologies for you, and I'll get more in detail in a few slides. So here's constant voltage. The E-Series products, which I'm highlighting today, that is a constant voltage product. These products would be, again, the voltage itself would stay constant throughout, and the current would vary. Certain applications you would use a constant voltage driver would be more for LED tape light, rope lighting, linear fixtures, cove lighting, under cabinet lighting. All those would be constant voltage fixtures. So that is kind of the difference. That is the constant voltage. And then constant current fixtures would have, again, the constant current, and it would vary in the voltage. The constant current fixtures you would normally see would be a single point source fixture, such as recessed lighting, track head lighting, area lighting. Those are all going to be deemed constant current drivers. As you see there on the main currents being used today, it speaks about milliamps. That's the actual range of the current of the drivers. And then the average range that are in the industry right now are between 200 milliamps and 2000 milliamps. LED driver efficiency. I'd like to point out our E-Series product is at a 90% efficiency. What that kind of explains here in this diagram, with all drivers that are out there, all transformers that are out there, there's always going to be a heat loss. So this example is kind of given our E-Series. So with the input voltage, as you see, once on the left-hand side, 165 watt and 120 volts going into the driver, you'll see a 15 watt heat loss. And as it goes through onto the output voltage, power, you'll drop down to 150 watts at 350 milliamps. So below the diagram, you'll see the formula that we use to show what the efficiency is. So we lost 15 watts of heat from the 165 initial input voltage, and we lost 10%. So our driver comes out to be a 90% efficient driver. And that's kind of the diagram to be used to show how the product is, how is it running, how the cooler temperature, how it's more efficient. A little bit about dimming terminology in the driver world. You might hear dim to off. That is something that's coming more prevalent with specifiers and designers. They kind of want that, that fixture to be turned to completely off. So that dim to off is that kind of definition. And then also dimming curve. There's two terms, the logarithmic and linear. To the left, which shows how linear dimming works. It's more of a, from going down from 0 all the way up to 100%. It's a quick, straight run where it's a straight run. So there's no variance there. It just goes from on pretty much all the way up to high power outputs. The logarithmic kind of per se is more of a smoother transition throughout the dimming process. So from 0 to 100, you have a gradual increase with the light output. And those are the two terminologies you would see about dimming curve. This slide, it's a really neat slide for, the perception of light. For designers, for specifiers, you want a specific light output within a space. The amount of foot candles per se, on average, are about 60 foot candles in a typical workspace. But this here, it kind of explains, going back to dimming, even though you're dimming down per se to 1%, if you have a measuring tool, you're still going to show it down to, you'll show it to 1%, but your actual perception from your human eye, the light would actually be at 10%. And that kind of vice versa. So if you dim down to 10%, the light output from your eye will actually perceive it to be at 32%. So even though you're dimming it all the way down, there's still going to be some light output. And that goes back to the former slide about dim to off, where it's becoming more popular, where they want to see the light actually all the way to off, to zero output. Now I'm going to get into the product line. The E-Series, we have two versions. We have the listed version, which is the more self-contained standalone fixture. I do have an image of this right here in front of me. So the junction box itself is integrated into the fixture, so all the wiring's done. You have the two knockouts right here for easy installation, easy wiring. The listed version would be, you would use in applications, would be landscape lighting, tape lighting, cove lighting per se. This can be mounted horizontally or vertically. This is NEMA 3R rated. So this is outdoor rated for, wind blown, rain contact. And that's the listed version. And just to show you the size of it, this is the 96 watt, and this is a standard pen. So it's a very low profile, small in form, and it's made of aluminum. The next fixture here is the recognized version of our E-Series. Again, nice, slim, low profile. And what this product would be is it's recognized as a component of a fixture. So this product you would see mainly attached inside a fixture, whether it be a close to ceiling fixture, a linear fixture, somewhere, a semi-flush, pendant. This is a product that will be installed into that. This is IP67 rated, again, outdoor rated. This is also rated for signage as well. So this is another opportunity if you have customers that are working with signs out there, exterior signs or interior signs. This is a product that could be installed and UL listed to work with signage. So those are the two differences. The size, here's the pen test. So it is actually smaller than the pen. It's less than 1 inch in height. So going back to both sizes, very small form. So for installation purposes, for design purposes, you can fit these in really tight spaces. So those are the two versions of our E-Series. A lot of the features that I can say with our E-Series, they're class 2. So that's class 2 means pretty much everything under 100 watts. So again, these are the highest wattage here is 96 watts, but we also offer it in a 20, a 40, a 60 watt, and as well as the 96 watt. So you have multiple different wattages options. And we also offer in a 12 or a 24 volt DC. So you have two options there as well. The E-Series is strictly meant for residential and or light commercial in a 120 VAC option. It's flicker free, dimming down all the way to 1%. And what's neat is you can use a standard MLV triac dimmer with this product. So that's going to bring cost, whether you're doing a new or a renovation project. A lot of projects that are out there already have an MLV dimmer or a triac dimmer in place. So you're not spending the extra money there. This is still being used. This can still be used with that dimmer. And then also for new construction, you're not spending the money on those high electronic dimmers where you can just stow with the standard MLV dimmer. So that's a cost savings to you as well. It has a very super compact aluminum case, knockouts for easy installation. The E-Series also has an auto reset. So if there's any short circuited or over voltage, it would automatically shut down and then restart up. And then I mentioned earlier, it's NEMA 3R, our listed version, and our recognized is an IP67. All our E-Series, all our drivers have a standard 5-year warranty on all the product line. Advantages, I don't want to be too redundant, but smaller form factor, signage, under cabinets, cove lighting. Those are some applications. One thing with our E-Series, I kind of call it the cousin to the magnetic. So the magnetic, which I'll get into a little bit, this E-Series runs, where the magnetic runs a little hotter. As you can see, our E-Series is 5 times cooler than any magnetic series that are transformers that are out there. So efficiency, which gives longevity of the product. So when you install this, you feel that this product is going to last, because it's running at a cooler temperature, it will run a little longer in its lifespan. Another thing at the bottom, this E-Series product, you can get a minimum of 8 watts on the load. If you, for a non-dimming, that would be a good recommendation. If you plan to dim with the E-Series, I would probably gear towards more of a 12-watt minimum load. And then also the E-Series, going back to Class 2, if you were looking for a Class 1 option, this product can be installed into a junction box system that we provide. If you can see behind me, and I'll get into this a little more detail, but this is our Class 1 rated junction box where you can run multi-channels with this, all from 2 all the way up to 9 channels. You know, there are some obstacles that you might come if you plan to use the E-Series. Some of the main ones would be, you know, it's an electronic driver, so you want to try to get the get as close as you can to the voltage, and also the current load. So you don't want to miss out. You want to get as close as possible to those things, where the magnetic transformers have a little bit more leeway. Another thing that you might come across, there are some tape lights that are reels that are coming out that might have different resistors, spaced differently. They might have a chip on board. Tape light, those are products that we would prefer to be tested with our E-Series prior to using our E-Series product line. And I'll get to compatibility shortly as well. But those are some obstacles that you might come across. Also, Class 1, this is only a Class 2 rated product. So if you needed anything over between 100 to 300 watts, I would recommend either going with the J-Box series, or you can also go to the magnetic transformer, which is a Class 1 rated product. Now, kind of a little bit about you know, the E-Series, and then I wanted to talk about our M-Series, which is our magnetic transformers. There's advantages to both. So I talked about the E-Series, gave you all the nice advantages of it. The M-Series for us has been around pretty much our start. It's been around 10 plus years. It's very high quality, very durable. They are still working. So the product is something that I want to point out that in certain application, it might be needed. Again, going back to the higher power ratings, this can go over 300 watts in multi-channel applications. And it's Class 1 or it's Class 2 rated. And then for commercial, for 277 volt, this is our M-Series can meet those needs. So that's kind of want to let you know the magnetic is still an option depending on the application that you're working with, and it's available. Competitor-wise, if you look on here, there's a lot of products you might, companies that you've seen: Lutron, Advance/Signify, Meanwell, Elder-LED from Acuity, Universal Technologies. These are all companies that we have product that can be used as crosses. The quality's there, The advantages are there. Again, going back to the small company, that we're going to be there for you as well. We're well stocked in our product line. We have technical support on hand, easy to deal with as a company. And then you also have Polaris. We will back Polaris up and support them as well. So, but as you might be familiar with some of these companies, Lutron and Meanwell, we do have product that is comparable that we can offer. This is on all our products. This is a little blown up image of our labels. And I'll show you the E-Series, the recognized version again, same label. Very easy to navigate through. So if you're doing an installation and you need some information, we have the QR scan that will get you right to our website if you have any technical questions or installation questions. And then has the product line as well. The next slide here is the kind of gives you the part numbers, how to build the part number for the fixture per se, the E-Series. Pretty simple. This is all on our website as well, and it's easy to navigate through. So I just wanted to show how easy it is to build a part number for us. The next slide here is this is the E-Series, so it's only a 2-wire. This kind of shows you a diagram of how it gets installed from whether you're using from the dimming system into the driver. Again, it's a black-white, pretty simple, standard, similar to the MLV Triac dimmer installation for a transformer. This is all on our website to be viewed as well. This gives you an idea of the product line for the E-Series. As I mentioned earlier, we have a 20 watt, a 40 watt, a 60 watt, and this kind of gives you an idea of the product line within the E-Series. Next, I'm going to talk about the EZ-J Box series. I kind of mentioned it a little bit ago, and I showed you, but this product here, the EZ-J, is a great product for distributors, design build, specifiers. It's a simple multi-channel option for you where you can fit multiple drivers within the space. This can be mounted to the wall. It can be mounted as well as recessed. So it's going to have all the advantage of the E-Series, but what's nice about the EZ-J is installation on the front end. It's going to save time. It's going to make the product, the installation neater. And then on the back end, when you have an inspector come in, it's already a listed product. So the inspector looks at it, it's already listed. It's a quick check off. He doesn't have to see the wires. Everything's placed in one location, makes everything simple. So if you're doing an example would be if you have a high ceiling or multiple units within a space, you could run all the wires right to that central location. So for any maintenance purposes or anything like that, this is available for easy maintenance purposes. You can, if there's a bad driver down the road or you have any questions, everything's centrally located. So this is a product of ours that we offer. The EZ-J, again, it's more quick, 2 to 3 channels on this. Here it's showing the part numbers, again, building up the product line for the part. We also have the JB series, which I have behind me. Again, 2 to 9 channels. You can offer this with the E-Series. Again, all the same features of the E-Series with this, but again, going back to it, this can go up to 9 channels. So if you have a full room with recessed or troughers, or you put this in a large atrium and you run the wires all the way down into a closet, this is a product that can be installed. Again, could be recessed into the wall, could be surface mounted. This also can be installed in the ceiling in a non-HVAC and a non-plenum ceiling. This can be installed in that as well. And an example would that be, I have a hospital in Pennsylvania that has the maintenance department cannot be get into the rooms. So they actually installed the J-Box up in the ceiling and in a closet in between the rooms. So as the drivers, if there's any maintenance down the road, they can get up and they don't have to disturb the patient or even access the room. Everything can be done inside a little closet, and they can get to actually 9 fixtures, 9 drivers. So that's a certain application that you can put that in. Gives you an example. Again, the build up, this is the product line of the JB series. Before I go on to the next slide, I'll bring this a little closer to the best I can. So here, this is set up. This gets all built in our warehouse in California, so it's custom in a way. Here it has 4 channels. All the wiring's here. The inputs goes here, all the wiring that from the fixture itself. It has multiple knockouts from the top as well as the bottom. So this is a great thing for, again, going back to designers, specifiers. Even like your contractors would have interest, because this is going to save a lot of time where contractors need to move on to the next job. So this, you install this, you run the wires to through the knockouts, and everything gets installed into the drivers, and you move on. So it's has a lot of advantages in the lighting industry. It's pretty heavy. All right. So compatibility. I briefly touched on it with some obstacles. Magnitude Lighting is really a company that believes in compatibility. You always have a dimming system. The majority of the time, you have the driver, and then you have per se the fixture, a tape light per se. That is it's really big for us to make sure everything's working. The driver could be working perfectly, the dimmer could be working perfectly, but the tape itself might not be compatible. So what we like to do, and you can reach out to myself, you can reach it out to Polaris. If you have a certain product that you would like to be tested, this is something that we would provide, whether it be a tape light, for an example. We would ask maybe for a foot or 2 of that product. We'll get it shipped out to us. We would ask what dimmer you're using, and we would either we would purchase that dimmer unless we have it already, and we would also test it with the driver. We do video tests as well, so if a customer would like to see how it's done, we also provide that as well. We currently also already have a compatibility list that's already on our website. This is the example of it. So as you see here, for the E-Series itself, it works with Legrand, Lutron, Leviton, and so there's some examples. And we also want to expand on this. So if you are using a particular dimmer, you're using a particular tape light, feel free to reach out to us, and we will test it to make sure it works, so you have confidence that the E-Series or any of our products will work for your application. This is a list that's also expanding. Earlier, I spoke about we're hiring 3 engineers. One of our engineers, about 70% of his work would be just dealing with compatibility. So we are investing in that, and we believe in that as well. So we want to make sure the project is working, and then again, the confidence that you have with Magnitude. So that's pretty much the E-Series, and I'm more than happy with Polaris. We could set up other calls. I kind of wanted to show you, we do have other product line. Here's a brief image of other products, and I'll go through real quick. Our AFlex Program series, which is the bottom left, we have 2 versions, the linear and the compact. These are products that are constant current products. These can be installed whether you're using as more for a renovation replacement. As drivers itself, they're only rated 5 to 7 years. So the LED light source might be rated over 50,000 to 100,000 hours, but the driver itself could fail prior to that. So this AFlex programmable series allows them to just replace the driver instead of replacing the whole fixture. And this is a webinar that I can provide to you in the future if necessary. We can work with Polaris to set that up. We also have the solid drive, which is our 0 to 10, 1% dimming, class 2, class P rated product. This is also this I call the workhorse of our line. It's the percentage of failure rate is a 0.001. As long as it's compatible, it's going to work to what it's meant to do. We also have our CCT series, which is our top right. This product here you mainly see more on a recessed, whether it be new construction or for more of a replacement option. It's a constant current product. It can work with an MLV, an ELV, a CL dimming. So it has a little variety there it can work with. We also have the SR series, which is our top left. This product here, you can see, can be installed. It's very tiny. I don't know if you can see the diagram, but it's in height. It's 3/4 of an inch high. So it's very small. It can fit into behind a a Sora lamp, a LED lamp as a replacement for directional lighting. It also can be installed for flood lighting, for landscape lighting, or even step lighting. The product itself is dimmable. There's not one product out there that's smaller out there in the market that's dimmable. There are some competitors that have something similar, a little bit taller, but it's not dimmable. So that's a nice feature of our SR series. And then we have the multi-channel T, the X, the AC, and the M series. These are our transformers that are outdoor rated, so for landscaping, multi-channel 120, 277. It can be used with tape, linear, landscape lighting, like I said, but that's our multi-channel systems for our transformers. So that's kind of like a little quick synopsis of our other products. Also, our resource tools. We just, come January, we recently redesigned all our literature. So we have literature that Polaris can send out to you if you reach out to them. We updated all our specification sheets, so we spent the time to make sure they're 100% accurate. Also, we have E-Series. We have a flyer that can be emailed to you, or we can print it and send it to you, or you can print it out and send it to your customers. And then we also have a brand new product selection guide, which is the full line of Magnitude lighting. We're also doing a promotion for the spring for our E-Series line. This is kind of, this is something you definitely reach out to Polaris about. They're well informed. They have all the information. I can also do a quick webinar on that as well to fill you in with all the incentives that our E-Series will provide you. Also, we relaunched our website, so take time after this call, or when you have some downtime, check out the website. We believe it's easier to navigate, more options. You can also do all your sample requests, online returns, that can all be done on our website. We have demos on there going over other products. Right now, we currently have a lot of videos on our E-Series since we're promoting that for the spring. And then you can download all the specs and literature from there as well. And at the end, really with the samples, you know, we have projects out there that, you know, a new product out there. So if you're coming across that and you want to test that, reach out to Polaris or myself, and we can get you a sample to test it on your end too if you didn't want to send it to us. So we would send you a product. You just give us some information on the project. We'll send you a sample where you can test it with it, make sure it works as well, instead of ordering multiple fixtures and making it not compatible, and then you would have to return it. So save a little bit of time. We could send samples out. And then we could do any online training webinars per se. Just reach out to Polaris. And that is it. And any questions you might have, anything in English, I'm more than happy to help you with. And then we have the rest of the panelists that can help in Spanish or another language. So thank you for your time, and any questions you might have?
Hi, I have a I have a lot of questions about specific applications that I think I'm gonna send it with more information and specific to you. One of the
Okay.
question is for compatibility with specific dimmers, for example, Crestron dimmers. If you have tested compatibility with the E-series with Crestron dimmers, I think it's not listed in your list of compatibles dimmers, but I will have to check exactly which specific dimmer he wants. Sebastian, maybe can send me an email and I can see if you have tested or do some tryouts with that.
Yeah, so currently Crestron is not on our compatibility list, but it goes to say, you know, if you can send us the information, we'll get started on that and look into it and check if it's compatible for you for that project of yours.
Another question is about IP rating. I know that you have most of your series are for damp location and for humidity, right?
Well, you broke up at the end.
For the IP rating of the drivers, I think most are for damp location, right? And
we have some for damp, and then we have some that are wet location rating as well.
Right. Junior, te puedo dar la lista de drivers dependiendo de la aplicación. I have another question. If it needed to connect multiple lamps or bulbs to the same E-series driver, should I connect it in parallel?
Was that parallel?
Parallel, yes.
So if you had multiple fixtures, that is something. So you have multiple. So you have a few recessed fixtures, and you want to run it towards.
Correct. So if you go into a let's say 60 watts driver, and you have multiple downlights, so the connection is a regular. I think it's a regular parallel connection, right? As going through from bulb to bulb, going through the
you would
driver, right?
You could do that in parallel, but if you're using in a recess application, you would go with a constant current driver, the CCT or the A-Flex series. So the E-series is a constant voltage, so it will not. It's not meant to work with the recess application. So is that?
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, if you were just normally, so with the CCT or with the A-Flex series, that would be installed you can do that, yes. In a parallel.
Correct.
Okay, sorry.
And yeah, I will say I think we have more like specific questions for applications and projects that we can get more information and send it your way for recommendation. Let me see. All right. Good. I think we are good. I have the Crestron model number, so I will send it your way to see if you know him and if you have do some testing with this dimmer in specific.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna upload the webinar to YouTube for reference.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Ryan and Liz, for the time. And Rubén, gracias por acompañarnos.
Tenemos esta presentación en español. Si alguien la quiere, podemos mandarla. La tenemos en español. También cualquier pregunta que tengan sobre compatibilidad me pueden contactar. Magnitude es compatible con Sora. Saben que vendemos Sora. Entonces, bueno, representamos Sora. Y cualquier duda, por favor, déjenme saber.
Ok, muchas gracias por su tiempo. Si a cualquier pregunta que tengan me pueden localizar a mí o a Rubén o a Ariel, y muchas gracias por su tiempo.
Gracias, Liz. Thank you, Ryan. Gracias, Rubén. Nuevamente, gracias por asistir a la reunión de hoy, amigos. Y como siempre, estamos a la orden para cualquier pregunta. Está nuestra página web con las marcas que manejamos, el canal de YouTube con todos los videos. Ahora tenemos un podcast disponible en Spotify, iTunes. Y mañana tendremos otro webinar a las 11 de la mañana, hora del este de los Estados Unidos. Jueves también, y la semana que viene, martes, miércoles y jueves también. Así que muchas gracias. Gracias, Manfredo, por todo.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Gracias, hasta luego. Gracias.
All right. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.